Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's official prices. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we're about to take a look at this week's official prices straight from Games Workshop. But before we do, I want to set the stage a little bit. I've been doing this channel for like 3 or so years right now, done over 1,000 videos, and one thing I have always done and prided myself on was keeping it real. I always give you guys my honest opinion on stuff. Sometimes it's controversial and people get triggered a lot. It definitely costs me viewership because the world is really divided right now. Not just like Games Workshop, but just in general. People tend to gravitate like really hard towards one thing or really hard away from another. And I don't know if it's social media or politics or what, but people tend to sort of live in a bubble. And they basically like expel everybody else that thinks different from them from their little bubble. And then next thing you know, they think everyone agrees with them. And I have gone out of my way to make sure that that's not the case. So specifically when it comes to Games Workshop, when they do something right, I am one of the first people to pat them on the back, congratulate them, even defend them or tell them like how good a job they're doing, because I appreciate that. And I get absolutely flamed in the comments. People call me a sellout, talk about how I must have signed the NDA and joined Games Workshop, etc., etc. And I'm not telling you this stuff to throw myself a pity party or anything. I'm just setting the stage for what's about to come. And on the other side of that coin, when Games Workshop is doing something dirty, I'm one of the first people to call them out. I've gone into their financials and specifically shown how they're making record profits and doing dirty stuff. I've specifically talked about how things are bad for the game or a money grab. And again, people just absolutely come at me in the comments, say that I'm always negative, that I hate Games Workshop, that I should quit, etc. And the truth is, I'm just keeping it real. And that's never going to change. But it 100% costs me viewership and costs me like mental anguish too, because I have to deal with people's just angry and disgusting comments on the internet. And before we get into the actual substance of the video, I want to mention one more thing, and that's 3D printing. I've been 3D printing now for like 5 years. I love it. It's great. I use it as a supplement personally, but I totally understand how for some people they're hardcore against it. For some people, they are all in on it. But again, when people show up in the comments talking about 3D printing, saying that they could print the new Games Workshop box for $30, I let them know that that's not true. You could print something similar to the Games Workshop box for $30, but you don't get the Codex, you don't get all this other stuff. So let's not pretend like it's the same thing. And again, the 3D printing cult will go hard, but let's be real. That's exactly what these things are. They're cults. And I refuse to participate. So one thing that you're always going to get from me is you're going to get the truth. And I'm going to keep it real. And the reason I set all this up, that I prefaced this official price thing is, this was like the first time that I actually got the prices in a long time, and I was legit pissed. So if you're going to get triggered, if I go into Games Workshop on this one and show off reality a little bit, and I'm a little bit negative, then go ahead, switch off this video and just come back for the next one. But let's go ahead and take a look at this week's official prices. So starting off, we have the Codex Supplement Dark Angels. So we have the limited edition one that's going to come out. No doubt that will sell out quickly. Probably going to be somewhere around like 60 bucks or something like that, but we won't know for sure until Saturday. And then we have the Dark Angels Supplement. So the regular Dark Angel Supplement, you're going to need the regular Codex to go along with it. And this one is $35 USD or $40 Canadian. My guess was that it was going to be around 35 bucks. I was hoping for 30. I was bracing myself for 40, but 35 is right around what you would expect with the Codex costing $60. And I know a lot of people were like kind of angry about the rules or felt underwhelmed. And I think overall the rules are pretty good, but they're definitely not broken by any means. I think as of now with the Dark Angels detachments in the book, the best way to play them is going to be use like the unique data sheets and play one of the standard detachments out of the Codex Space Marines. But that's just me. I think once people start doing that and start realizing that the Dark Angels have a bunch of really good characters and a bunch of new data sheets that are options, whether you take them or not, that they're actually probably one of, if not the best Space Marine army right now. But the actual detachment, the enhancements, the relics, etc., they are definitely a little bit underwhelming, with the exception of a couple like cool and sort of janky things. So I think before long, we're going to see the Dark Angels actually doing really well as far as Space Marines are concerned, but it's going to be more so people using like the standard detachments from the Space Marine Codex and then using some of the unique data sheets for the Dark Angels, including the special characters like Azrael or potentially even Lionel Johnson. But that being said, 35 bucks for the supplement or $40 Canadian, right in line with what I expected. All right, and then we got Asmodai, Master of Repentance. So really cool model right here. Definitely some awesome options with like the hooded and unhooded head. The ability to either like put on or leave off the smoke, depending on if you like that. Pretty decent rules in the new book, but not amazing. And because he is a special character, right in line with what we predicted, $42 American or $53 Canadian. So definitely on the pricey side, but we know that Games Workshop has been making like the named characters $42 for some time now, so no surprises there. All right, and then we got Belial, Grandmaster of the Deathwing. So same thing, unique character right here in Terminator armor, super chunky, nice looking model, tons and tons of detail, massive upgrade from the previous metal/resin model. So $42 again for Belial as a named character, no surprises there. So then that brings us to the Inner Circle companions, and I know a lot of people were surprised by the companions only coming in 3s. The first time we saw them, they showed us 6 of them, and I specifically identified that there was only 3 bodies. So for me, it was very clear that these were going to be in line with the prices and everything for Blade Guard, that they were going to come in 3s. So again, no surprises there, seeing them coming in 3s, and the price on them is $60 USD or $70 Canadian. So these are some of the coolest models I've probably ever seen. Probably some of the coolest models we get all year. I absolutely love the poses on these. The new swords, all the like relic stuff, the actual robes and everything, just absolutely beautiful. So very, very cool. $60 or $70 Canadian. And again, not surprised on these. But then we get to the Deathwing Knights. And I'm going to tell you right now that these models are absolutely awesome. They're super durable, and I know people are kind of like going in on the rules with these. But with the -1 damage, they are very tough. 4 wounds, high toughness, 2 up, 4 up, -1 damage. These dudes are super durable. You can only take them in 5s right now, but the rules on something are never going to make me mad. The price on these legit made me mad. And I think part of the reason is not only did they go up in price compared to the old Deathwing Knight kit, but they also lost all the options for like the Deathwing Command. And then on top of that, Terminators just went up in price with the new sculpts, and these went up even more. So we'll jump over to Games Workshop's website in a second just for reference, but I got legit mad when I saw the price on these. So the Deathwing Knights in USD are $70. $70 for 5 Deathwing Knights, and they're $85 Canadian. So just jumping over to Games Workshop's website here, these are actually the old Deathwing Knights that are still available, and now this was a trifecta Terminator squad. So it used to make the regular Deathwing Terminator squad, which means it had like the lightning claws, the thunder hammer, all the like cool little upgrade bits. It also made the Deathwing Knight kit, which had like the Maces of Absolution, all the shields, all that good stuff, the Watcher in the Dark. And then on top of that, you can make the Deathwing Command Squad as well, which meant it had like the special Deathwing Command weapons and then equipment to make like an apothecary and all that good stuff also. So it was basically like a tri-kit, and it was $60. Now don't get me wrong, the new Deathwing Knights are substantially cooler. The models are bigger, they're better, they're amazing. But we went from being able to make 3 different unit data sheets down to 1. And then if we just scroll up right here, we see that the old Terminators were $60 for 5, and then the new Terminators just came out recently, and they went to $65. So Terminators were $60, including the Deathwing Knights, which was a tri-kit. They just went up to $65, and Games Workshop has raised the price on the actual Deathwing Knights kit, which doesn't even come with like the Power Fist or Chain Fist. It doesn't come with all the extra options you used to be able to make the Command Squad out of. And now it's $70. So the regular price increase on the Terminators from 60 to 65 was not quite 10%. But now going from 60 up to 70, not only do we lose a bunch of like cool options and cool bits, but on top of that, it's over a 15% price increase. $9 would have been 15%. So $10 is a little more than that. And I don't know what it is about the price going from 60 to 65. It didn't bother me that much. But seeing these guys come out immediately afterwards at $70 just legit made me mad. So I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I don't know if I'm going to go like a month without buying Warhammer, or if I'm going to do like a full-on Games Workshop boycott. I don't know if I'm just going to like swallow my pride, suck it up, and just go about my life. I honestly don't know, but this actually made me mad. And people have been bringing up for some time like that Games Workshop is going to charge what people are willing to pay for it. And I don't have a ton of hobbies. I also have a channel that's based on this. Like I absolutely love Warhammer. And I'm not sure if this is like my breaking point or what. But it was the first time when I actually saw the prices and got angry at Games Workshop. This is full on greed. Seeing them with like record sales and record profits. Seeing them do a price increase from 60 to 65 and then immediately afterwards go from 65 to 70. Just something about it made me see red. So maybe to some people it's not that big a deal. Maybe to others they've already quit buying Warhammer products. But the fact of the matter is, there's just something about this increase right here that made me see red when I think about Games Workshop. So that being said, that's what this was all to preface. The fact that they raised the price from 60 to 65 and then immediately after from 65 to 70 and over a 15% price increase just put me over the top. So anyway, $70 on the Deathwing Knights, up from 60, and $85 Canadian. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. All right, and then moving on, we've got the Dark Angels upgrade and transfer bits. So my guess for these was $35, and that's exactly what it is. $35 for the single upgrade sprue and transfers, and then $41.50 Canadian. Lots of cool bits on this setup right here. Definitely pretty awesome. One thing I like about it is that it does have like all the different kinds of armor. It has shoulder pads for Phobos. It has shoulder pads for like Tacticus or regular Space Marines. And then it also has like the veteran shoulder pads as well for stuff like Blade Guard and Gravis, and then it also has for Terminators. So very cool, lots of cool heads, lots of cool bits. Much better than the old sprue. $35 with the decals. All right, and then next we got the Combat Patrol Dark Angels, and honestly seeing that they just like secretly added this in after the article had already been out again was just like super snaky. There's just something about Games Workshop lately where they just can't be honest about stuff. And I don't know what it is about when they go back and change stuff, but like that also like seriously aggravates me. So this was originally not in the article. They went back in and added it in later with the picture and description and all that stuff. But I have been defending this Combat Patrol left and right because people have been just absolutely flaming it, and people have been going at me hard in the comments about it as well because I've been defending it. And I really think this is a nice Combat Patrol. So you get 10 of the regular intercessors, which means you can break them up into 2 squads of 5. They have objectives secured, which is going to make them really good in Combat Patrol. And then you have 5 of the Hellblasters, which are really good at shooting. They're going to be able to take down like high armored targets and elite infantry. And then, of course, you have 3 of the Blade Guard as well. They're going to be really good in combat and very durable. And then finally, you have the Gravis Captain. And a lot of people have been going in because there's no Dark Angel specific units in this set. And honestly, I think that part of the reason they did that is so you can sell these to anybody. And I think that's a good change because clearly with the rules and what we talked about earlier, they're going that way on like the detachments where they want you to be able to just like play whatever chapter you want. Paint your models however you want, and then just pick the detachment that you want to flavor them with. The second thing is people are salty because like the big piece went away, the Redemptor Dreadnought. But the fact of the matter is it was just too powerful in Combat Patrol. It was too durable and certain armies just couldn't kill it. So my final point on the Combat Patrol and why it's so good is because the Gravis Captain is super durable, super tough, high toughness, halves wounds. He doesn't need to be a leader in a squad because he's so tough. So what that does is by not having him join a squad, that gives you 5 total units to move around the board, which again makes this very, very versatile, very strong, and I think this is honestly one of the best Combat Patrols. So while I totally get that people are going to disagree with me and the internet is up in arms about why this Combat Patrol is terrible, again, I really like this Combat Patrol. I understand why Games Workshop went this route, and I was very happy to see that Games Workshop did not raise the price, so it is still $160 USD for the Dark Angels new Combat Patrol and $190 Canadian. And then also, I was unsure about how the value was going to come in on this exactly, but now that Games Workshop went back through and edited the article and added this in, we can see there is a specific note here at the bottom. On top of that, you'll get 2 Dark Angels, Primaris upgrade sprues, and 3 transfer sheets containing 221 decals. Note that these are different from the Dark Angels upgrades and transfers described above. So it is cool. There's a little more value in the set, the fact that you're getting those Primaris upgrade sprues. But to tell you the truth, they should have 100% put in the new upgrades because the new upgrade frame is substantially better. It's brand new. Everybody wants that. And the old upgrade frames are trash in comparison. But that being said, glad to see that they didn't raise the price on the Combat Patrol. And overall, I do think this is a nice setup for starting players, and it's going to play well also in Combat Patrol. All right, and then next we got the Dark Angels data sheets and dice. So the actual dice are $32 for 16, $2 a piece, right in line with what we've been expecting. And these are some new dice, but obviously the dice boycott continues. And then once again, when I saw the price on these, I just got salty because there's only 20 total datasheet cards in this set right here. The index datasheet cards were substantially cheaper, but Games Workshop has put out the new datasheet cards for the Dark Angel supplement for $35 or $40 Canadian. So if you look at how many cards come in this set, there's 20 total. One thing specifically that I noticed is they didn't include the like separate rules datasheet for Combat Patrol, which in the new White Dwarf, they included one for the Tyranids and the one before that for the actual like Space Marine Combat Patrols that have come out. So they obviously know people want them. Didn't even include it in the Datasheet card set. There's only 20 cards in the set, and they're charging you $35, which is the same price as like the full set of Space Marine ones, where you're getting like hundreds. So again, in my opinion, this is a super dirty price increase. The actual like Datasheet cards from the index were $15. So the difference between $15 and $35, and I know that those index cards had like a limited life on them, so maybe that's part of why they were cheaper, but $35 for these for 20 total cards and missing like one of the key ones that you would use for Combat Patrol is just absolutely dirty. And it's like over double the price. So just disgusting move by Games Workshop. Absolutely enraged me when I saw this. So last couple things we got, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We got the Lazarus Enmity's Edge, $30 for this, or $35 Canadian, and this is a hardback novel. Then we have Cypher, Lord of the Fallen, and this one is paperback, $9.99 USD or $11.99 Canadian. Then we have the End Times, Doom of the Old World, and this one is paperback novel, $25 or $30 Canadian. So that's going to wrap up the official prices right there. Hats off to you guys that stuck through the video, through my little rant and everything. Let me know how you feel about these new price increases. Let me know how you feel about Games Workshop like stealth editing articles and adding stuff in without putting any kind of note or anything at the bottom, or like deceptively saying that you get so many models in a set when really it's less, or trying to sell that you're getting 3 transfer sheets with a total of like 700 transfers. Like at what point in time are we legit going to be like, this is just too much from Games Workshop? Because I'm not ready to like quit Warhammer, and honestly it's going to take a lot for me to ever quit Warhammer. But seeing Terminators go up from $60 to $65, seeing the actual kit get cut down and losing some of the key options for Dark Angels, and then seeing the Deathwing Knights go from what I presumed was going to be 60 to 65, going from 60 to 70, and then losing a bunch of cool options off the sprues on top of that, just absolutely made me salty. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Always like to hear back from you guys. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I hit you with the epic rant. Go ahead and hit me with yours, and I'm out of here.